Kelvin stood in front of the mirror inside his mansion. The silk robe on his body cost more than what his father earned in a year. His BMW key sparkled on the marble dresser beside him. He had it all. Everything was real. Too real. He laughed to himself. Madness for money? I'd do it again. But the laughter didn't last long. Though wealth now flowed like water, it wasn't enough. His desires had grown with his bank account. The cars, the women, the parties, it was never enough. He wanted more. So he returned to the one who made it all possible, the grand one. Kelvin drove deep into the night, past the main roads into the forest. His BMW pushed through thick bushes until he reached the old temple. The same temple Marcus brought him to. The air was heavy. Owls hooted in the trees. Strange symbols were carved into the gates. He knocked once. The iron doors creaked open. Inside, fire torches burned low. Incense filled the air. 10 hooded men stood in a circle chanting softly. In the center was the Grand One, the same man who first watched Kelvin run mad. Kelvin bowed. I need more. I want more. The Grand One stared at him. You have not paid the full price. No more wealth without deeper sacrifice. Kelvin hesitated. What does that mean? The Grand One unrolled a black cloth on the altar. 3 photographs stared back at him, street children. 1 girl, 2 boys. They wear pain like skin. No one will miss them. Their souls are your bridge to more wealth. Kelvin's throat went dry. How do I do it? The Grand One handed him a red box. Inside were 3 necklaces made of shiny black beads, with a snake symbol hanging in the middle. They will wear it, and their souls will belong to us. Kelvin didn't speak. He only nodded and walked out. The next morning, Kelvin dressed in plain clothes, torn jeans and an old shirt. He drove to the part of town where street children gathered near traffic lights, begging for food or coins. He parked and stepped out with a plastic bag. 3 children sat under a tree, sharing a single loaf of bread. Kelvin approached slowly. Hey, he said gently. Are you hungry? The children looked up with wide eyes and nodded. I brought food and gifts, he said. He opened the red box and showed them the necklaces. You'll look like royalty. The girl reached out first. Thank you, sir. The others followed. He handed them sandwiches, juice, and the necklaces. They smiled. The boy in the middle whispered, You're like an angel. Kelvin smiled painfully. Yes, something like that. As soon as they wore the necklaces, their bodies froze. One dropped his juice. The girl's smile faded. The smallest boy fell backward. Within seconds, all 3 were gone. People screamed. Crowds gathered. But Kelvin was already gone, driving fast, breathing hard, the box empty on the seat beside him. That night, Kelvin sat in silence. His phone buzzed. Bank alert, $10 million. He smiled. Then he got dressed, grabbed his keys and went out. He partied with friends, drank expensive liquor, danced under neon lights, and laughed with different girls on his arm. To him the deal was done. He was rich. Untouchable. The night was his. But what he didn't know was that his real problem had just begun. Late at night, Kelvin would hear children laughing, not joyful laughter, but slow, broken laughter that echoed through the halls. At first he blamed it on his mind. Maybe the madness was returning. Then the shadows came. He saw them in mirrors, dark shapes moving behind him. But when he turned, no one was there. One night, he saw 3 children sitting at the edge of his bed. They stared at him, silent, still, and cold. One had no shoes. One had a cracked lip. The last had a broken doll in her hand. Kelvin screamed and jumped out of bed. But they were gone. He knew what it meant. The sacrifice hadn't satisfied them. And now they were here to stay. 3 days passed. The children wouldn't go away. Kelvin stopped sleeping. He stopped eating. One evening, the walls began to shake. The TV turned on by itself, showing static. The children laughed through the speakers. Then his phone rang. Unknown number. He picked it up. A deep voice spoke. To silence the dead, give us another. Kelvin asked, trembling. Who? The voice replied. The girl you love. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.